Hello and welcome to an amazing podcast. This is Super D.
This is Mo D.
Dang it, yeah, this is a superhero thing. You can come up, it's so easy. You're Modi Man.
Oh wait, I forgot. I retired from this. I'm just Modi. Okay.
Modi Man, you can't retire from this. You didn't choose this life. This life chose you.
I'm gonna when I figure out one of the villains' names, that's the name I'm gonna take because I feel like that's the role I'm gonna take in these reviews.
I am Matt Murdock.
See? I mean, it's not
played
DC,
the Punisher.
but it's fine.
Yeah.
He literally is in the wrong universe. Okay?
At least he tried.
I tried.
Alright, if you guys haven't noticed, we are reviewing our first American anime, My Adventures with Superman. And if I could start off, just to give you a bit of background, I haven't seen the Christopher Reeves Superman. I saw a bit of Superman from the Justice League Unlimited Timverse series, so the bits and pieces of the original Superman animated series, and a bit and the most and about all of Zack Snyder's Superman, not counting the Snyder Cut because I don't have 4 hours of my life to watch. And I will say that this is easily my all-time favorite Superman. This is the first Superman I've ever liked. I love that they stray away from like the whole, oh my god, he's a god, he's the ultimate savior, he is Jesus. And they go for more of a awkward, very human, very sort of relatable kind of Superman. I like how they really push how awkward he is. I definitely like how much they fleshed out Clark's personality in this. And the fact that they gave him and everyone else so much life and energy to them was a real big highlight for me. I definitely like how they were able to sell the whole, like, oh, his secret identity is just him wearing glasses. Like, the whole idea of, like, the whole design aspect of him having his bangs down when he's in civilian mode versus having his bangs up in, like, hero mode, I thought was such a great sort of idea and execution of the design. Love the anime style of it. I love Tumblr Sexy Man Deathstroke. And all in all, I'm really hyped for it.
For once, I am the authority. I know more than everyone here about Superman.
Oh, dang.
Having read a couple comics, having watched the animated shows, and having seen most of the movies. Mm-hmm. And this is really good. Fucking Snyder did such a great job in skewing people's perceptions of Superman. And I'm glad this show exists to put all those people who are like, you can't make a good show about Superman because he's too powerful. You just wipe everything out. And it's like, you completely miss the whole point of the character. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that this show actually has an appreciation and understanding about who Superman is, while also like having a bit of a fresh take on it.
Yes, 100% agree with that.
One part about the show that I really like, too, is, like, reframing it mostly with the whole reporting thing. Like, there's a lot of attention put into Jimmy and Lois Lane.
Lois best girl.
She is. They made her, they cut her hair, they made her cool and peppy, and sorry.
They turned her into the main character from the Owl House.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw people playing about that, yeah. And I feel like people, that's like a part that people would often forget about Superman, because the more obvious, like, interesting stuff is, like, his villains and him doing fight stuff. Whereas I feel like the more interesting stuff is with this. The same thing with, like, Spider-Man, where people kind of appreciate how it's just more down-to-earth and relatable.
The fact that, like, he isn't another, like, oh, evil Superman, yada, 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 or, like...
Yeah.
Is not another, like, overly grim, dark thing where he does more damage to the people around him than the actual supervillains.
No, that's
the fact that he actually is a Boy Scout, that he's helping people,
yeah.
Like, the fact that the first moment he gets his powers comes from him trying to protect someone else is so great. Oh my god.
Well, that's the whole point about his, like, character, is that he, despite being a literal alien, he's one of the most human and like carrying people out there. Like his humanity, despite not being human, is really integral to his character. It's something that Snyder completely missed out on.
Mm-hmm. Easily.
But yeah, I honestly I thought this was great. Even the villains, like I remember seeing a picture of Tumblr sexy man Deathstroke and being like, ugh. But I didn't mind how they did the villains here. Like they try to like do a more like cohesive take on them. Like they had Livewire, they had Banshee, and those characters like exist in the comics. But here they tie it all together. Where these all have like weird alien tech to them. Because I noticed one thing: the freezing crystal in the last episode we watched. I feel like that's the crystal Superman uses for the Fortress of Solitude. At least the same type.
Dang!
Yeah.
Yo, that was a good catch.
Yeah. Just like really clever ways to retell the same story that people love.
Honestly, the design aesthetic for a lot of the like, I hate how everyone in the show is a freaking cinnamon bun. Like the intergang, I freaking love them so much. Like the whole like, no names.
The energy is so positive. It's so good. Like I am so fucking tired of like watching an anime where they have to like fight a bunch of like essentially Nazi KKK people or whatever. And it's like, just I love the energy the show brings. It just like I'm just smiling the whole time. It's a lot of fun, and I can't wait for Modi to just crap on all of it because he sucks. When it's not a shonen anime, he's gonna hate it.
This is the most shonen anime American show I think we've seen so far.
So for my experience with Superman, I've never really watched anything I think the only Superman thing I've seen in full is Man of Steel.
Oh God!
God. And there was this one Cartoon Network show about this super dog. I don't know. If you
God!
Wait, say it again.
Crypto the super dog.
Yeah, there we go. Crypto the super dog. That was trash. Man of Steel was trash. But I still know like the basics about Superman. I guess pretty much. I guess just like pop culture. I guess so. None of this is really a surprise to me. And honestly, from hearing what you guys have said, I feel like what's happening here is that you guys are just Stockholm syndrome as Superman fans, and like you just had like 2 decades of absolute garbage. So now you see this average shit, and you're just like, "Oh, this is the best thing that's ever happened."
You liked Mashal. Really, you liked the first episodes of Mashal.
Yeah, the first episodes of Mashal were better than this. Also, I'm not done. Okay, so
I'll fight you on that. Go ahead, go for it.
Oh man, you made me lose my train of thought. What was I gonna say? Okay, I guess I'll just say this because I had a question. Because D, you said that this is an anime. You keep saying this is an anime. Are you just saying that, or do you actually like? Is this actually considered an anime? Because if so, why?
No,
I was gonna say that's why I say American anime, because it uses a lot of like anime design tropes and everything, but it leans away from like the narrative and story tropes. So like it has the big eyes, the spiky hair, the triangle chin, circular
the transformation sequences.
Yeah, but it doesn't have like Superman didn't get isekai. He's not going Super Saiyan. He isn't trying to become king of the heroes. Kind of stuff.
The writing's good. It very much is like a Last Airbender situation.
Please, oh my God, I'm gonna vomit. Please don't compare The Last Airbender to this. Oh my goodness. What is wrong with you? Don't do that. I mean, I don't even know where to start. Like, I guess I'll just start from the top.
Yeah.
Like, literally from the top. Do you guys want me to do this? Because I actually don't want to be like just hijacking the episode. I mean, we're
going to go
negative because you guys had a lot.
I do this all the time.
Okay,
I make episodes that I do all the time.
All right, so I mean, right from the start of episode 1, I feel like I'm so mad that this wasn't the first thing out of Matt's mouth, because D, if we were watching any anime, Matt would have said this immediately. Okay, the first thing Clark does, he learns his superpowers, and now he's just flying perfectly all around the city. Like he's just like this super prodigy. Like he just gained his powers and like he just knows how to use them perfectly.
You forgot
how
about
ridiculous is that?
The show.
Do you think Matt would ever let that slide?
You forgot
for
about
anything?
the show where he was doing his powers since he was a kid. He was learning his powers since he was
say
a
it
kid.
again?
He's been learning his powers since he was a kid.
No. When he literally discovered, like, at the start of episode 1, when he literally discovered, like, that he could fly. Remember, like, he just flew perfectly. Mm-hmm. Like, that was his first time flying.
You mean to save the car?
Do you have nothing to say about that, Matt?
To save the car?
No. So the scene. No. So you know how I was praising the show for like him unlocking his powers to save someone. It's still I think Modi takes issue with how excellently he's mastered it. Like he's able to like instantly stop the car. He's able to like fly flawlessly. It's not like an invincible situation where he would have like blown through the car accidentally and just splattered everything around him.
I presume that he was like testing things because he was like trying to fly to get the kite that was stuck in the trees or whatever. And
okay, I get it.
It seems like
just watching it.
It seems like he's because the whole thing is he like almost unlocks his powers since they're like a part of who he is. Like whenever there's like a person in danger, and he's under like a lot of whenever he's using it to help people. And that aspect I like more.
That's interesting.
I like that aspect more, and I could suspend the fact that he like didn't just like obliterate the car. Like I'm able to put away my like, you know, super CinemaSins brain away for like those parts of it. But when it's doing it and nothing comes from it, nothing interesting comes from it, that's when I take issue from it. And like, especially when they build it to be some like massive thing. Like, go on.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, so if the situation was flipped, here's what you would say to that. If I had said what you just said to me, Matt, you would say that doesn't matter. I'm someone who doesn't know anything about Superman prior. They should like explain something like that in a way that I would understand, rather than just making him randomly have his powers perfectly, and I'm just sitting here wondering why that would happen.
Well, no, it tells us something about the character. Like if I'm watching like an anime or something, right? And Saitama is like punching. Like I don't have an issue with the fact that Saitama got his powers from doing push-ups and like doing like laps around. And I could be like, oh, that's ridiculous and unrealistic, right? But that's not like an issue I would have because the like Saitama's powers directly influence the like narrative of the story. Like they're not like the way they function doesn't interrupt with what the story is trying to say.
I think the other thing too is I think it also comes into a matter of expectation. So I kind of came into this show with a very like this is going to be a very bright, colorful, hyper energetic, like upbeat show. So the fact that he's able to like control his powers super perfectly didn't really bother me as much. Whereas if it was something like say Soul Eater or not Soul Eater, Demon Slayer or Bleach, where it's established that this is a very serious, air quotes, grounded world, I would take a lot more offense to that. But I feel like the tone of the show is supposed to be, we are supposed to get that, look at this as like a whimsical, over-the-top moment. And I think that's what was able to like allow me to suspend my disbelief for that. If it was something like The Boys or something like, say, Jujutsu Kaisen, I think it would definitely stick out to me a lot more.
Because like a lot of those shows are grounded in the fact that like their whole battle system is very important to those shows. Where I'd argue the whole fighting system here is like very secondary to everything else that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it's like a fair critique to make, but I don't think it makes the show bad.
Okay. Should I mean,
keep going.
Do you guys want to go on to something else?
Keep going.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Lois. Just, I mean, like, okay, so why is she just actively speed running getting fired? Like, why is she doing this? It makes, like, I don't think there's any justification for how hard she's trying to lose this job. Like, she literally, episode 1, she literally gets thrown out of the office and told verbatim, this is your last chance. And 1 second later, she's dragging, the two new interns to a dangerous, crime scene. Like,
listen.
It's ridiculous.
She's
It's
impulsive and
called being a
self-righteous.
go-getter, okay? Like, sometimes, if you want to make an omelet, you gotta break a few interns, okay? Listen, when your boss tells you this is your last shot, don't do something, you're not only supposed to do that thing you're not supposed to be told, you're told not to do, but you have to triple, quadruple, tuple down on it, okay?
Mashal, in Mashal, he literally took a guy's face, like an administrator, and threw it into the ground and made into enough and buried him into the fucking ground. But nothing happened to him. But with this show, that I would say that this is, for me, I don't mind that because it's set up that her character's super impulsive and very self-righteous and like the whole I gotta do the good of being a journalist to save the world's type of scenario. They've set that up as her character and they've been consistent with it, but also both the show takes that and uses it to criticize her.
No one's like that though.
It's a show.
People are like that.
I mean, okay, hey, listen. I'm 80% of these issues I'm having, generally I don't really care, but I'm just here to point out hypocrisy today. Okay, that's what I'm here for.
No. This is consistency with the character. You can set up any character you want, and they don't have to be realistic. You just need to have consistency in your show and your world. Because here's the thing: there is consequences to her attitude.
I guarantee if there was a character like this, you would take this exact issue with it.
Give me an example.
This is Weeb versus Weeb right here. This is the battle of the century.
I don't know. I can't think of any right now, but this is just this line of argumentation right now is just a classic Matt line of argumentation.
Yuji breaks the rules all the time. Same with just in general, that's a very common anime character trope, and I don't mind it when the character's acting consistent.
I
think the other issue with this...
I honestly don't think Luffy... sorry to cut you off. I just want to say this. I honestly don't think Yuji would ever be told, this is your last chance, or I'm going to expel you, and he would blow it over, something like that. That's what I'm saying.
If it meant,
that's something
saving
Gojo
people?
would do.
Yeah, she doesn't care about saving people. This has nothing to do with that.
Well, her whole thing is, to her it matters. To her it means the world. That's her character perspective. But also, the show reprimands her for it.
She just wants to get the scoop.
There's consequences for her. No, that's not why she's doing it. Anyways, there's consequences.
That's all she talks about.
No, she's not doing it for social status.
Okay, why was she so mad that they gave the credit to the senior reporters?
Maybe you're right, but regardless, I want to go back to the other point. The social, the show itself shows us that her whole attitude had consequences to the point where Clark got pissed at her, the boss got pissed at them, and she felt regret about it afterwards. It's not like the show treated it like she was doing a good thing or this was a positive aspect.
She didn't get fired.
Yeah, because they still got photos from it.
He didn't even accept the photos. He thought they were trash and blurry, and he just threw them out. He should have fired her because he said he would do that if she did it, and she didn't even have anything to show for it.
Honestly, this is this right here is the one of the reasons is the power of character right here, because I think the biggest difference between the flip-flopping of opinions right now is how much you sort of resonate with the character. I feel like Matthew would probably bring up these points because he wasn't sold on the character, so he wasn't able to latch on or look past certain logical flubs. Just how I feel with certain anime like Jujutsu Kaisen or Mashal, since we associate ourselves with those characters more, and that we are sold on these characters, we are able to overlook that kind of stuff. And I think it's also the same reason why Demon Slayer is so popular, despite a lot of its flaws, is that people resonate with the characters as much. And I think that's kind of what we have right here. It's a difference of resonance between characters, I believe.
I feel like there's very little to latch onto and stuff like Matchel, though, because most of the characters there are like pretty one note or like literally don't do anything. Mm-hmm. Like their character is like trope, and there's not much.
Okay, actually,
beyond that.
Here's a. You know what? It doesn't matter. I was gonna say stop using Mashal as an example, but it probably doesn't matter because you probably think this is. I'm sure you think this is better than any anime we've seen, right? So far.
I've not seen enough of it to say.
Okay.
First 3 episodes, like first impressions.
Yeah. Okay.
Because for me, I think if I had to rank the 4 best ones we've seen, I would probably, in no particular order, put it up as Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, Trigun in this. I definitely think Chainsaw Man had easily the best intro, and I think this one is probably tied with Trigun for me, with Jujutsu Kaisen in the last spot.
I think I would probably put this over Trigun.
Wow!
Probably. Yeah, it's weird.
Trigun fell off hard at the end.
I think the thing is, here's the reason. Trigun can't qualify as a background show. This at least makes it background show quality to me. And I think that's where it actually caps off. But like, yeah, Trigun, I wouldn't go back to, at least not the new one, at least. But okay, all right. So yeah, I guess that's our thoughts on Lois. Do you guys have anything positive that you want to insert?
So, oh my god, it feels so weird with me like being positive with Matthew. Like this is so surreal. This is Modi. You know what you're feeling right now? This is what Matthew went through when we were making him watch Bleach. So like Matthew was just like, oh my god, he's just like, you're making the show way better for him. This is like revenge for all the stuff we made him sit through. But I think for me, okay, for the first 2 episodes, thoughts and feelings, I think this is a very well written show, and when I go into like, it's kind of like expectation. If I'm going into this as like a Cartoon Network like Western animated superhero show, I feel like I got way more than I expected. And I think it also delivered way more than it needed to, because I think there's a lot of really nice creative things. I really enjoyed the initial morning, them waking up. I really enjoyed that scene because it was such a masterclass of visual storytelling and telling us who the characters are just through animation and action. I definitely enjoyed the whole Clark scene, the scene of Clark walking to the Daily Planet, just to like demonstrate, again, not through talk or character interactions, but just through character actions, what kind of person Clark is. And another thing I really appreciate about this show is everyone moves in this show a little bit different and very much in line with their personality. It is something I haven't really seen, or something I haven't really that hasn't really stood out to me in a show since Trigun. And oh my god, there's a part of me, like, I really enjoyed the humor in this, but there's another part of me that kind of wishes it was pushed a little bit further. Like, I love the scene of like Clark activating his powers to fight against the robots and everything. I would have loved it if like Lois and Jimmy started calling him like, oh my god, it's Super Janitor! Something like that. And I really did enjoy Jimmy's energy as well. I kind of wish in the scene when the robots were attacking, since we saw the shot of the 2 crates getting like tossed away, I think that would have been a perfect time for him to like run in and also contribute to the whole set piece. Yeah. Aside from just being the smart person and just sitting back and just taking pictures. I also really, my god, this is on Adult Swim. So if there's like, and the reason I point this out is there was a scene where Clark is walking through the hallway towards Lois, and we see his like heat vision flaring up, I would give them
Oh,
$1
are you
million.
serious?
Yeah.
I would give them $1 million if they do a similar scene like that, but instead of his heat vision flaring up, it's his X-ray vision.
It's his X-ray vision flaring up. At first, I thought that's what we're doing, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, by the way, here's another question.
Yeah.
How old are they? Because he's built like a JoJo character. Like how old are these kids or not kids? I don't know.
They're
I can't
like
tell.
young adults.
Yeah, I think
Are
they're
they
about,
college students or something?
No, they're
They're
young
college
adults.
because they're interns.
Oh no, you could be an intern and be not in college.
Because they even have like the whole bunk bed thing going on. So it's
Yeah.
like I just don't get it. Like
They're definitely not
They're
in
either,
college.
They're Japanese 15-year-olds, but I think they're American like 21. I can say that they're
okay, or maybe are they? Is this during summer? Maybe they're on summer break. That would make sense, I guess. But,
I can buy that. I can definitely buy this
Doesn't really
being
matter.
summer.
There's definitely no
Yeah.
mention of it. Of
Which
it
is
being in
also
school.
weird. Yeah.
I know it's
Which is
weird to
also
have a
weird.
show where all the characters aren't in school, considering that's most of anime.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, no, that is very weird.
Mm.
And I don't like the fact that they're promoting anti-education views.
I don't like it when my characters have gone through puberty.
Oh, speaking of anti-education, this is probably like this may be my biggest issue. Okay, so I think this Earth that Clark landed in is not the real Earth. This is like some alternate minus 50 IQ Earth or something, right? Because how is everyone so insanely stupid?
What do you mean?
Starting with Lois. Goodness. Okay, how is it that you like have this big crush on this guy? You love this guy, right? You probably go to sleep just imagining him, right? And he takes his glasses off and flips his hair back and he doesn't even change his voice.
Okay,
His
yeah.
body doesn't. Nothing changes, and you don't know who he is.
The
Are you
Listen,
The voice
serious?
thing I agree
Listen.
with. I think the voice actor, by the way, is the same one who plays Huey in The Boys.
Yeah.
I think he definitely should lower his voice during scenes where he's Superman. Be like, "Hello, citizens," instead of like his normal voice, because he doesn't do that enough. But for the other
That's-
things,
okay, listen.
you can definitely tell
Yeah.
by his lack of confidence. His like posture being hunched over,
my God.
his glasses
Oh
being
my God.
to the point where it's like even when I'm watching him in that mode, he looks like just like a little like geeky guy when he's doing in his like normal Clark
Bro,
Kent
do you
mode.
realize? Are you actually
Just
trying to
by being a
justify
buff
this?
Yes. I am.
Okay, listen. I 100% agree with you on that, Modi. And honestly, I would have given this show, again, if they did the X-ray vision scene, not because I'm a pervert, just because I would love to see Clark's reaction. And if they had I would have praised the show to high heaven if they dropped the secret identity thing immediately. And as
Yes.
soon as they got 2 feet between each other, she knew exactly what's going on. I would have given the show so much credit and just have her understand that, like, yeah, this is really crazy. I should keep this guy's secret.
I think
I
that's
promise you, if that one thing had happened, I would probably just wipe away most of the bad stuff I have to say, because like that would like make me, think differently about.
Okay, also
about
just
these things. But also, yeah.
in our defense, I cannot remember a single Superman that's ever executed, like a Superman property that has executed this kind of concept as well as this. Like,
What? As well as this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
How
'cause,
is this
literally
done
they
well in
just
any way?
Dude, they just give him glasses and have him act like Superman. Like, in this, they actually have him, like, change his posture. They actually have him act nerdy. They actually, like... Dude, the fact that they
Wow.
actually lowered his bangs in this...
Yeah,
For a
that's
DC
normally never a
thing.
thing.
Wow.
Is
Do you
revolutionary.
hear yourself right now? Do you hear yourself right now? You're proving my point about the Stockholm syndrome. Like that's what this is right now.
I'm not bending. You're exactly
The
right.
bar,
You're exactly
the
right.
bar is so low. It's
You are
so
exactly
low.
right.
I
will
can't
still
believe
defend
you're
the show
okay.
still.
I'm gonna like reverse this on you. I can't believe that you're so
Okay,
critical
hold on.
of this show when anime
Hold on.
does so much more leaps in logic.
I
like
didn't
all
even
of it
finish
shit.
talking. I didn't
Okay.
even finish talking about how dumb this world is. Okay.
All right.
The criminals who use their real names on camera repeatedly Okay, like first of all, why do you do it? Second of all, why do you bring him along? Anyway, right? The civilians, not even just Lois, the civilians who can't figure out who Superman is, crazy. The police warden who can't identify like the fake imposter intern journalist. Like all you have to do is look at the badges. Like
that they
it's
flashed
right there
in front of them. That they flashed in front of them.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Wait, are you saying Clark Kent does?
Huh?
Wait, are you implying that Clark Kent does not look like a 5 foot tall middle aged black woman?
Surprisingly, yeah. I know it's a shock.
Okay, the reason why I have less of a problem with, I think those are fair criticisms, but I feel like the difference I have with this show is, for example, the thing you mentioned with the criminals, that's the point they make, is that the criminals are incredibly stupid. Are act like that's
Clearly
like the
not.
joke that they're doing. Yeah, that's exactly what they're like.
mean,
they
well,
even
yeah,
say so. Where it's like that's how she
they-
got caught in the first place because these guys are so incompetent. But the reason they were able to actually rob the bank is because they got like high tech weapons during the entire time when Livewire was distracting Slade. Like
Okay.
that's
All right.
that's the only reason why they have it. Otherwise, they're really stupid criminals, and the show goes out of its way to make that like that's the joke. That they're dumb.
Didn't they get away?
No, they got kidnapped. They got captured.
Yeah.
The bank.
At the
okay,
bank,
they
yeah.
got-
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Slade was
Yeah,
there
yeah.
in the final shot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Actually,
Additionally,
I want to
like-
ask you a question,
Yeah.
Modi. So, you are the resident costume critiquer of our group. How do you feel about the superhero, supervillain costumes seen in this series?
I will answer that question, but first let me, since it relates to something else, I'll go to that first. The fact that, I mean, this one I died laughing. The fact that when he decides to go find out who he really is, right, go like dig up the spaceship or whatever, he has his, Sailor Moon transformation sequence, and they just automatically give him the Superman suit with the S. Like he doesn't even know he's Superman, right? Like, and it's just like perfectly tailored, just like he knew how to fly immediately. It's like, he was born to do all this. That was pretty annoying.
I will double down on that. The fact that we do not get a Sailor Moon transformation sequence each episode infuriates me. We need to have, like, Superman needs more moon prism power, okay?
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, it definitely needs some more anime energy. It's not enough at all, and that would probably do a lot to improve it.
Dude, it was
but for the designs,
ass Sailor Moon transformation, too. Even down to, like, the ribbons turning into the costume, too.
yeah. And yeah, to answer your question, I do. Yeah, so I think the Superman. You know how I feel about traditional superhero designs. I think they're pretty dumb and ugly, and that's how I feel about Superman's. But the villain designs I think are pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. Follow-up question.
you go.
And this is a question for both of you. Trunks or no trunks? Should Superman wear his underwear outside his pants versus inside his pants?
I think it looks better without with no trunks, but like at the end of the day, it's so goofy anyway. Like it's like taking it from like a -3 to a -2. It doesn't matter,
What I liked that the show did was it explained the trunks that his mom gave it to him. And I think that's like a perfect like addition to his character.
Yeah,
He's got this cool alien design, and his mom put like little trunks around it to like I don't know for fucking modesty. I forgot what her explanation was, but like because it does look dorky, and the show is like saying like yeah, that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if his dad. Imagine his dad when he walked into the room and he saw his son wearing the tights. He was like, oh, you are an alien.
No, I would love it if he just like didn't say anything. He just walked away.
I love the scene where you know how his dad walked away. He's like, oh, I suddenly feel sick. I have to go. I love that because in the previous scene, Clark did the same thing, which implies that he learned that from his dad. Where he's like,
oh,
the whole
okay. So,
how do I
yeah,
avoid stuff by getting sick?
Oh, that is true. That's good. That is a good touch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go on.
Also, one thing I really also appreciate about this is it looks like Superman is in danger. It's not like a Mashal thing where, like, we all know, like, Superman's going to make it through, and we all know he's kind of way stronger than all the villains, but I do appreciate that they do show him struggling in certain spots.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, that's mainly...
They, like, nerfed him a bit, or at least in the sense that he's, like, learning his powers still, to have him get beat up. Like, and that's when that's when you can have the moments where he, like unlocks a power, like... when he gets beat up by the robots and like a robot's about to kill Lois, he suddenly unlocks his super speed perk to get over there.
He leveled up.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. That reminds me of something that you guys said. One of you guys said at the start about how he like you were saying that the typical problem with Superman stuff is that he's like too OP and it makes it hard to write or whatever, right? But I feel like I don't see this series avoiding that problem, because as soon as he learns his powers, like, you know, maybe like season 2, it's just gonna have that same problem again, right?
I feel like
what's different here?
I feel like, okay, so I think the first thing is how it's presented. We do see him struggling through each of the fights. And I feel like they could easily pull a Dragon Ball Z and just be like, oh man, he was able to defeat these standard criminals. Now he has to fight the super criminals. And then he has to fight the super alien criminals. And he has to fight the super alien god criminals. Just keep stacking it like that.
They'll get stronger then, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I think he also runs into the thing, because like the interesting thing about him and characters like Batman as well is that he doesn't want to kill people. He doesn't want to like hurt other people, and that's how you can like get someone who's super powerful. Like, for example, there's no need for him to save Livewire, but like since it's in his nature to be a good person, he like went in there despite getting like hurt by it, because he's at the point where even that stuff could like potentially hurt him.
I think the other thing that's also interesting is, and I remember it was a YouTube comic book critic, I believe by the name Linkara, who pointed this out really interestingly, is Superman isn't the one you should be worried about. It should be the people around him. Like, it's not about whether or not Superman will survive. It's about whether or not he can save everyone.
Yeah.
That's a good, look at it that way, that might make Superman more interesting as a character.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's kind of like the point. Sorry, go on.
So then, what's wrong with all the other proproperties that, like, are you just
because they don't have him saving people? He just goes through and just destroys shit.
Yeah, like he has this weird, like, edgy. Because it's a thing. It's like this character happens to have god powers, but luckily he was raised by like a cute old couple that taught him like how to be a Boy Scout, essentially, and that's like where the interesting part of his character is. He has the potential to like fucking kill everybody, right? But his whole thing is like, can he push himself far enough to save all the people that he loves?
Okay.
Because that's where we get like a lot of the dark Superman interpretations, where he doesn't save Lois Lane, or he doesn't do that, and he goes like and becomes like a dictator. He goes all Homelander, you know.
That's also one of the things they were also playing around with Invincible, is that like, what if you aren't strong enough? Like, you have these people who are like really super strong, but what if they aren't? Like, but what kind of collateral damage can they create when they don't keep their powers in check, or when they aren't like whatchamacallit, prudent or skilled enough to avoid destroying everything?
Well, that's also why a character like Lex Luthor is his main villain, because Lex Luthor's not a superhuman guy, and sure, he like makes big robots too, but his like both with him and like Batman, their whole thing is like, well, he has the potential to just murder everybody if like if something were to happen to him like that, but like everyone's lucky that he is just this purest of boys, you know.
Mm-hmm. He's super Cinnabon.
He's super Cinnabon, exactly. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I do agree with some of your critiques of like some of the stuff that they just didn't, like a lot of the like I don't want to say mistakes, but like even stuff like They didn't cover up the robot when they were transporting the crates, and that's how Lois and Jimmy saw it. And it's like, that's dumb. They should have covered it.
Or how like Livewire stole all this shit with no plan on how to on what they're stealing or who to fence it to.
Yeah. I guess with that, she was just kind of going on fuck everybody mode, but it's still like there is stuff that I think the show misses out on or doesn't like properly think of stuff, and because it's like not what it's going for. But I think it's fair to criticize. It's just for me that doesn't ruin the show.
This feels like a show that focuses way more on emotional storytelling than logical storytelling. Not to say that it isn't like batshit insane like some other shows, and not to say that it solely relies on it, but this feels like a show that prides itself on creating appealing characters, not really like super logical like world building or like world rule sets, but just making characters that, for lack of a better term, are believable, consistent, and likable. Because like that's one of the reasons why I gravitated to like the intergang stuff, because all of them had very clear, dopey, and sort of appealing characters. It's not like, say, something like in Jujutsu Kaisen where all the goons are just evil jobbers who are just trying to kill people or take over the world kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, you almost want them to, like, part of me almost kind of want them to succeed with just this one job, you know?
Just get one in.
Like, maybe you should just, like, let them take the bank. Also, I love that scene, how basically Lois and Jimmy's plan was just to get captured so Superman would show up. Like, they were just, like, that was just so much self-awareness, I almost, like, shut down for a second.
Yeah. I have some other stuff to say about Clark.
Yep.
So this is on some more serious, because all that other stuff, that's joke stuff that in the I mean, it's not joke stuff, but it's like, you know, this, like you said, the CinemaSins type thing. Although I am actually legitimately mad about how dumb people are. But to some more serious things, right? Okay, so we have Clark, right? Okay, actually a less serious thing quickly.
Yeah.
He's cringy, okay? I don't like how much of a simp he is, okay?
You're a monster. He's not a simp. He turns Lois down.
He just met Lois 2 days ago, and he's saying, if it's within my power, I'll do anything for you. Bro, get a grip. Get a grip. It's been like a couple days. You're going to do anything for her? What? Come on, man.
Listen, this is Best Girl we're talking about, man. This is Best Girl. You saying you wouldn't do this for Neme?
I would have said that.
I wanted to like jump in when you guys were talking about how she's Best Girl. You guys are ridiculous, man. Like, this is just what I'm just so. I just don't know.
I don't know how to tell you this.
I can't.
Like, I rarely like bring out the objective card here, but you're just objectively wrong on her not being a Best Girl. Like,
she's so annoying.
You could write scientific articles about how wrong you are on it.
She's literally...
Yeah, go on.
You know what she seems like, actually?
She's literally the best girl we've seen in all the animes we've watched so far.
I'd argue she's one of the only women that we've seen in all the animes so far, because the rest of them are just like dog shit.
You know who I just realized she is? She is, man, I forgot the name. The reporter girl from Trigun.
Oh my god.
She's her, right. Like, on Adderall, right? Like,
she's also Best Girl in that show, though.
She's only girl in that show.
That's true.
Like, and yes, she is a better character than Lois. I do agree, and that's because Lois is just like doing the most.
She's on the Adderall. She's she's high off Adderall.
Yeah.
Meryl was the only character in that show that I didn't fucking hate by the end of it.
Oh my god! You know what I realized? If you just swap their like, just put them in the other universe. Can you imagine how entertaining that would be? Just have Lois in like the Trigun universe and have Meryl in like the. Will we have a show if that was the case? I feel Meryl would just been like, okay, I'll do my job, bye, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like Meryl would be okay, and Lois would not be able to handle the Trigun planet. But okay, so continuing on, so with Lois, right? Clark and Lois. Mm-hmm. This is just actually like Clark is actually kind of scummy because like. If you don't want her to know your identity, why are you spending so much time around her as Superman and talking to her so much as Superman? Like, you, and then so the day she finds out, right? The day she finds out you're Superman, it should like you're just actually being scummy because you're like literally turning around, talking to her as Clark, then going as Superman. It's like, bro, why are you lying like this? You know, like if you really want to make this like a real true lie and not like play around with people, then when you're Superman, you need to stay far away. Like save the day or whatever, save her or whatever, but then fly away quick. Don't stick around and chat.
I have an
But
explanation
you're
for
forgetting
this. I have an explanation for
Best
this.
girl.
The Lois
Best girl.
Lane and Jimmy Olsen are so prone to running into danger. Which, by the way, if Clark didn't exist, they both would be dead like multiple times over. But they're so prone into running into danger that they're naturally going to meet Clark when there's any danger because they're always on the scene trying to get the scoop or
That's
whatever.
fine, but he doesn't have to talk to them. Like
And
literally can
he
just save them
doesn't
and
until
then
the
go
last
away.
episode. He did it. That's what he did before. But then he
Now,
ended
one
up
thing
talking
But then
to
why?
her,
Then,
and it
but then why did he
backfired.
stop? Yeah, so why did he like? I'm saying like, why did he talk to her? Why did he give her that interview? That's
Although-
ridiculous.
One thing I also really appreciate though is Clark is a really like craziness aside. I think Clark is such a perfect foil to the two characters because I like the fact that like he is the much more mild mannered, modest one as opposed to them who are just freaking insane, high off caffeine, nonstop.
Which is incredibly funny, all things considered. That like he's the one who has the superpowers and is like the hero, but they're the ones always running towards danger, and he has to like try to manage that. I find that dynamic fun.
I find it. I mean, I feel like Clark is. I feel like maybe the dynamic. How do I explain it? They carry the show. Those two carry the show. Clark is boring, and they carry him. Pretty much. That's how I see it.
Why?
Because him just being the guy who is nice and strong, right, and keeps the calm. That's not main character material for me. Like he doesn't have enough of a presence, even as
You know
Superman, he
what?
doesn't
You're
have enough of a
right.
presence.
He should have been emotionless and not done anything. He should have zero thoughts about things and just like look cool. You're so right.
That would unironically be better. Yes. Yes.
Spoken like a
absolutely.
true shonen fan, okay? Like a true shonen
Oh,
fan.
I just realized you're talking about Mashal, and yeah.
Oh, yeah,
literally,
I'm talking
Mash
about
is
most-
better. Mash is better. Mash is a
Oh
better.
my
character.
gosh! Oh my
Oh
gosh!
my god.
I'll say that. Mash would never do this. Are you kidding me? Mash would never do this to Lois.
Because he
would never.
broken. He doesn't care about women at all.
Okay, and
You're so
look,
used to
look,
anime
so-
protagonists
so
being
wait,
borderline
wait.
sexist
So,
to women that like
if this is like this is him not caring about women. This is how he acts when he doesn't care about women, right? And this is how Clark acts when he does care about a woman. When he would do anything for her. You'll do anything for her, but you'll sit there and lie to her face and play with her. He's playing with
he's
her.
not playing.
by
With, he's
doing
trying
this.
to save. He's trying
literally
to balance saving
he's
people
playing with
and his
her
relationship with people.
by giving her that interview. He's playing with her. He's playing with her. And the day she finds out, I don't know, this show obviously isn't serious. I'm not going to take it seriously, right? But the day she finds out, that's serious.
And
That's scummy.
they might play it
To be
like that.
fair,
That's the thing.
to be
'Cause, like,
fair,
yeah.
in my defense, a regular person should have noticed that way sooner, and I feel
Yeah,
like there is
of
a
course.
bit of blame on Lois's part.
Yeah, I feel like he probably did it on purpose. Like, oh, she's definitely going to notice. And he's like, oh, wow. Not all there, is she?
What was one of the things you said? Because the show had a direct like answer for it, but I can't remember what you said.
Him playing with her.
No, yeah, not that. Oh, yeah, you called him like a massive simp, but like I still
he is.
I don't agree because even
if you say I'll do anything for you 2 days after meeting a girl, you're a simp.
no, besides
Yes,
that,
absolutely.
first of all, when it came down to it, and Lois lied to them about the them being the boss okaying what they're doing, he stood up to her and said, "No, this is wrong. I won't be a part of this."
Yeah, and then the next day he said he would do
himself.
anything for her.
That happened like a couple days later.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
But also, like, I don't.
Listen,
Okay, you want to know my threshold? I would say like you got to give it like at least
A week.
a couple months. A couple months.
No.
okay?
Here's the thing, though. Okay, that was his internal dialogue. He didn't say it to her. That was his internal brain speaking because it was
Are you
framed.
serious? Did I miss that, or are
It
you
was
just-
framed as in they were giving a mock interview they were like between
Yeah, but
Lois and Superman.
okay, wait. Okay, I'm sorry. I guess maybe I didn't say what I meant correctly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the fact that he said it. It doesn't matter. The fact that he's even thinking it, like, yeah, that he's a simp.
Have you?
Like, it doesn't matter whether he said it or not.
Have you not like had a crush on someone before?
Yes, and yet listen. I'm not saying I don't relate, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying he is a simp, and I don't like it.
You need to qualify
Super
simp
okay.
for me because I don't think his actions necessarily like follow his like what he's thinking and what he's feeling.
Okay, all right.
Like to me, that wasn't really that big of a.
You know what he feels like?
What?
He feels like Lemon if she had Maxwell strength.
I don't agree.
You know what? Yeah, no, I don't agree.
I feel, yeah, you're right. Lemon
But
is way more.
I feel like there is a character there that could apply, but I don't think it's Lemon though. I'm trying to think, but yeah.
I think they're just both
see what you're
attracted to each other. I don't think it's like weird, and I feel like
Sure, she's a simp for him too. Yeah, I mean,
because
but that's not
the
her
thing.
biggest
Like,
problem.
it might have started out as them running into her, but I think he also like likes her more as it goes on because he sees the sort of like passion that she has for fixing things and for running into danger and like being brave enough to stick it. And that's why he said that he did the interview. Even if it was an excuse, I think there was still like some truth to it that he saw that she was like willing to put herself in danger to help other people. And that's what he loves about her. Because it could have been a thing where it's just like, oh, they're attracted to each other, but like nothing beyond that. But I feel like they both reinforce their... same thing with her, where she was like angry at Clark for a second, but then she thought about all of the kind things he did previously and like realized that she was wrong in that situation. Like I think there is like more to it there than just this character is woman, therefore likes the man, the main character. Like I feel like they put enough work into it to make the relationship a bit more believable than just like Lemon likes Mashal or.
Oh wait, is that what D was saying?
I was like being a little overdramatic, but I was kind of comparing it to like how after like Lemon sort of met Mashal and saw the whole display of power, she went full on notice me senpai, marry me kind of. And I was
but that's not what Lemon.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Lois is attracted to Clark, who has none of those qualities. But he is such a kind person, and that's the part that she does like latch onto. Besides him being like a buff hot dude
And his muscles. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's the initial thing is that they're both hot and they both like each other. But I think their relationship is more believable as they continue to like things about each other. Because that's honestly how I think it happens in real life too, where it's like you're attracted to someone based on their like outwardly like stuff about them. But then as you know them, it's either, oh, this person's kind of sucks, I didn't realize how much I didn't like them, or they continue to do things that like reinforces your feelings about them.
Here's what's gonna annoy me. It's gonna annoy me because usually you don't see it, especially in the start of a show where the two like characters like each other from the start. It usually has to build up to that. So if they don't actually get together within this season, that's gonna be so annoying. Because why do this for like however many episodes, you know?
I mean, typically
honestly, if they don't get together by like the 5th episode, it's going to get annoying.
Yeah.
I agree. I think they can only play this card so many times. I do think it's like I do find it really wholesome and fun though. I
think the other thing to also keep in mind is this originally wasn't. So this is airing on Adult Swim, so like the young adult kind of channel. This was initially supposed to be on Cartoon Network, like, fully. So it was supposed to be like a PG Steven Universe kind of demographic show.
Yeah, I could see that.
Also, I just thought of something related to what I was saying before. So, like, is it, like, will she actually, like, could she get mad if, like, she finds out, like, when she finds out he's Superman? Because he made her think she got a scoop, right? But, like, really, it was just him patronizing her.
I think that'd be an interesting way to take it. I think that would be like an interesting way to be like, I wanted to do this by myself. I don't know. Probably not.
Okay. I hope there's at least one moment where they just where she just acknowledges how stupid she was, the fact that she couldn't notice it
I
when she
think
was
that would be
talking.
funny. That would be
That's something I could see more. It's like, I can't believe I was such an idiot. You look like him. Oh my god.
I mean, I would want that. No, I wouldn't just want that from her. I would want them like to animate literally the entire cast of that entire world.
Just
Each
face
one of them
palming.
going in a row saying, "I was stupid. I should have known. I was stupid. I should have known. I was stupid. I should have known."
To be
Because they all
fair,
should
no one
know.
else
They all
cares
should know.
about Clark. No one else cares about Clark. Like the boss, I guarantee I could totally see like not even like realizing that Clark exists, and
Okay,
no one
fair
else really
enough.
knows him.
Fair
Jimmy's an
enough, it's only
idiot
3
in general.
episodes in, but like,
Yeah.
like by like halfway through the season, he's gonna be famous, right? So by then, no one's gonna have any excuse to not know who he is. So I'm
Superman's going to be
judging all of them.
famous, but like Clark is just going to be some reporter at a
Superman flies around without a like he just is out in the open. So like anyone who sees him at his office or sees him at the grocery store or sees him out jogging should be like, "Oh, that's Superman."
Wait. Well, Modi, you have to consider one other thing.
What?
This is a guy who can bench press buildings, move at light speed, and literally incinerate you by just staring at you. Is that really the person you want to inconvenience?
So you're saying he wouldn't leave witnesses?
you know, honestly,
I'm just saying, like, when you hit that like realization, you're kind of like, you know, I'm just gonna let this guy keep doing this thing. Yeah, Clark, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, so you're
I'll let
saying everyone
Superman know.
knows and they're just, you know what? I like
Terrified.
that. I like that actually. That's gonna be my headcanon from now on. Like, that's what I'm gonna believe. That
I'm
they
gonna-
all know he's Superman, but they're just playing along to make him feel better.
I'm going to stop defending
God,
the
they
show
were-
as much, but I think that's a fair criticism. Honestly, I think they probably could have done like at least a little bit more, but I think that's still one of those things where you just kind of suspend your disbelief. But I think that's
See,
fair, honestly.
They should have gone full anime and just gave him complete Goku hair whenever he goes like Superman. Like it's just like complete spiky nonsense. It's like the Yu-Gi-Oh hair.
Yeah.
Has an anime ever actually done like a relationship and made it like any like believable at all?
Yes.
Non-shonen.
Yes. Of course.
Which one?
We just haven't shown it to you.
Okay.
In fact, I mean, I say that, but like I haven't watched that many of them, but they exist. They're out there.
Yeah. Okay, I have not seen any of them either, but I know they are out there.
I've seen- so
Surei
there's
Children is
Toradora.
really great.
Say it again.
Surei Children is really great. I think that's probably like the most well executed like relationship anime I've seen in a long time.
The problem I
I've
had
never heard
with
of that.
like Spy X Families, like you know how there's a whole plot of like Yor and Lloyd, will they actually fall in love with each other, or was it just a mission? I think that would have been more entertaining if there was like a bit of back and forth between the two, like they do in this show.
Yeah.
But that seems like a lot more one sided to like, Yor really likes Lloyd, and maybe Lloyd likes back, but the show doesn't really dive into that much. So
They play up the will they won't they hell stuff a lot more aggressively in anime than they do in this.
yeah, but I mean most anime that I've seen, it's like super like it's like a background gag if anything, where it's like, oh my
Yeah.
god, she really likes the main character, haha, it's her character, funny. Whereas this one, I love all the like the little
Yeah,
awkward
sure.
moments between them. It just feels so much more real. And I love it. I like positivity. I like seeing happy people. It's great.
Amen. Anything else, you guys?
I
We're hitting the hour mark.
I
One more
wanted to
thing.
say real quick that I think it would have been funny in the initial scene in a different show where Jimmy is like walking across the street, and if Superman wasn't there, just gets hit by the fucking truck and just dies there, and then Livewire has to spend the entire like episode like realizing, oh shit, I shouldn't have been speeding with the super like secret stuff I had. Because now I murdered someone and I have the cops on my ass.
I swear to God, if like
would've
I love
been
how
it
the
all.
fact that even from like moment one, if Clark wasn't in their lives, they would have been dead instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy, yeah, he was definitely dead. Yeah, I had one more thing. Actually, two things. First, the fact that there's no opening or ending, lame. Okay, I need 1 minute 30-second openings and endings on all my
Yes.
shows.
Yes.
Second thing, the villains. I mean, I just don't care. I feel like that might actually be one of the bigger problems too. I'm not
Wow.
invested at all. Like I don't
Yeah.
care like about that lady or that dude or like
The
any
other
of
lady?
them. Yeah, I just don't care about the conflicts, like the I know like there's the romance conflict and the journalist conflict, but I don't care about like the actual Superman conflict. Like it's yeah,
But
and
the
I feel like
Suicide
that
Squad,
needs to
man.
be like on point if this is gonna be a Superman show. So yeah.
I swear to God, I'm gonna laugh. Okay, so you know what this has all like established?
What?
We are going to watch the Suicide Squad Isekai, and I am so I guarantee you, the positions for that are going to swap completely 180, and I can't wait to see that.
Wait, I hate superhero stuff generally, and I also hate isekai generally. So I'm just gonna be on Matt's side probably.
Suicide
That'll be
Squad, though.
interesting.
Suicide Squad.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess superhero. Yeah, okay, yeah, I do like
The
Suicide Squad.
I mean, they're definitely building up to because I'm pretty sure Slade was with Waller in that scene, so they're definitely going to do something with the Suicide Squad, fighting Superman. I heard that they weren't including Lex Luthor in the first season, and as much as I would love to see this version, like show's version of him, I think that was like a smart idea. But so far, like I've liked the villains, but they've not been like any main villain material yet. But I have liked them.
Matt, how much you're going to bet this is dead ass going to be Social Network Lex Luthor, like Batman versus Superman Lex Luthor? I am willing to bet so much money on that. That's going to be the case. I guarantee you that is going to be the case.
This show would not do that. I think this show is like faithful enough to the source material that they're not going to do stupid like Joker Lex Luthor that version was.
God,
Also-
I don't know though.
Okay,
You see what they did with Deathstroke.
I know, but like he started to warm up on me like a little bit. Besides, we haven't like seen like he's at least competent, I guess.
Yeah.
They at least should have had like an older man kind of guy, or I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. I was gonna say something, but I'll just save it for next week. So you want to do reviews? I mean, yeah, ratings.
Final score? Okay. I am going to give this a 9 out of 10. I think this is probably the best Superman show I've seen in a long time. I think this is easily my favorite Superman yet, and I'm excited to see what comes up after it.
Okay. Wow, that's a really high score. Okay.
Yep, I'm simping.
I would give it 4.5 out of 10.
Ooh,
I don't think I need to explain why. I've said, what
Yeah.
I think about it. Maybe a 5. I haven't seen. I feel like 5. I feel like 4.5 means it's like it hasn't done anything that like has made me think, wow, this is yeah. So I'll say 5. I'll say 5. Matt?
Before I do it, I want to have some honorable mentions in my notes because I didn't even get to bring up like most of my notes. But
oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. We need to end the episode. But and there was just minor stuff, anyways. I love the bird sound effect whenever Jimmy talks about the Firebird, like just instantly going off. And you're
Jimmy's my favorite character.
oh yeah.
Nice.
I like the end credits being like all the pictures that Jimmy took as well.
Nice.
I like the scene where Jimmy's talking about the supernatural gorillas, and it makes him sound like crazy when that's like an actual character and thing that's going to happen. Because gorilla crowd's a thing, yeah.
Like the first thing out of his mouth was like aliens. Like he's gonna go crazy when he finds out about Clark.
Well, it's so funny how he would be crazy, except in the DC universe, he's completely right about everything.
He's like me in this universe.
Yeah,
exactly. Except you're wrong all the time. I like Clark's glasses becoming like opaque when he heard about Lois not lying to them. It's a good visual storytelling thing where it's like, oh, he's thinking they didn't have to have him in his thoughts like, I can't believe she betrayed me, and then like have another character be like, oh no, Lois betrayed. Like it's. Anyways, to my score.
Wow. If we weren't finishing, I would go hard on that. But okay.
For my final score, if it's weird because I feel like our reviewing anime in general, I wasn't like prepared for a show that I liked this much So I would almost have to like give this a score with the assumption that all the other ones would be lowered, except for Bleach, because that's still a 10 out of 10.
Hey,
After Mashal is 11 out of 10.
So I guess this would be like an 8 out of 10. But if it was like compared to the anime that we watched, it'd be more like a 9.5.
Dang!
Yeah.
goodness gracious, man.
Dab.
Mark's just the reverse weeb.
His
Masters
sensibilities are
weeb.
all off. Yeah, like I don't know what's going on with you, man. You need to get checked out.
I am so tired of. It doesn't help that we've just been watching anime nonstop and it's just the same shit over and over again. That this is refreshing to me.
I really do think that might be it because, like, I feel like if we hadn't come off Mashal, I don't think you would be giving this a 9.5. Okay, like that's.
Honestly, again, I would normally put this as like an 8 out of 10, but then that would mean that like something like Jujutsu Kaisen would be like rated the same, and I feel like I'd like this more than Jujutsu Kaisen. So I don't know.
All right. Okay.
It's complicated. That's my score. It's a status measure that says it's complicated.
It's a 5. It's complicated out of 10.
I need to start rating shows and based off emojis.
Honestly, numeric rating is BS anyway, so you're probably on point.
Yeah.
All
but
right,
yeah, just
so-
everything comes together. And I love this like sort of retelling of Superman while still being faithful to the source material.
Yep.
That's it.
Oh man. Okay, I'll just save it. I'll save it for next week. Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, that's been our review of My Adventures with Superman. Thank you for watching, and if you're interested in this, come back 2 weeks from now for our next review. Bye.
Bye.